It will start picking up words, phrases, and pronunciation without you even realizing it. For example, if you're watching a movie, focus on the way the actors speak. Notice their tone, the expressions they use, and how they structure their sentences. Over time, your mind will naturally mimic these patterns. Thinking in English, the next step is thinking in English. Most of us translate sentences from our native language into English before we speak. This makes us slow and unsure. Instead, train your mind to think directly in English. For example, if you're deciding what to eat, think, "Should I have rice or bread?" instead of thinking in your native language first. It might feel strange at first, but it works wonders. Start small. Talk to yourself in English about your day. For example, when you wake up, think, "I need to brush my teeth, then I'll have breakfast." When you're cooking, think, "I'm chopping vegetables, I'm boiling water." These small steps will train your brain to process English naturally. Let me give you a real-life example. There was a man who wanted to improve his English. Every day, he'd watch his favorite TV show in English with subtitles. At first, he didn't understand much, but he kept at it. Slowly, he started recognizing words and phrases. Within 6 months, he could hold conversations without hesitation. Another example. A woman who worked in a small shop wanted to learn English to interact with foreign customers. She started thinking in English during her daily routine. She'd think, "I'm cleaning the counter. I'm arranging the shelves." Over time, she became so confident that customers were impressed by her fluency. Listening and thinking in English are like the roots of a tree. Without strong roots, the tree cannot grow. Many people focus on speaking directly, but they skip these foundational steps. That's why they struggle. But if you listen and think in English every day, speaking will come naturally, just like it did with your native language. Record yourself and speak without fear. Let me share one of the most effective ways to improve your English speaking skills. Recording yourself. This might sound simple, but trust me, it's a game changer. Speaking English fluently is like playing a sport. You don't just watch others play, you practice yourself. And when you record yourself, it's like watching your game and finding ways to improve. Here's how you can start. Pick a topic you like. It could be something as simple as your morning routine, your favorite movie, or even your dreams for the future. Turn on your phone's recorder and just talk. Don't worry about making mistakes. At first, you might feel awkward or shy hearing your own voice, but this is part of the process. For example, imagine you're talking about your day. Say, "Today I woke up early. I had tea and toast for breakfast. Then I went for a walk in the park." After recording, listen to it carefully. Check if your sentences sound natural. Are there any words you mispronounced? Did you pause too much? This self-feedback is incredibly powerful because it helps you identify what to work on. Now let me make it even more interesting. Pretend you're recording a message for someone important, a friend, a family member, or even your future self. This will motivate you to speak more confidently and clearly. Over time, you'll notice that the hesitation in your voice starts to disappear. You'll feel more comfortable forming sentences and expressing your thoughts. Another amazing way to practice is by speaking with someone who's also learning English. Find a friend or family member who shares the same goal. You don't need a professional teacher, you just need someone who's willing to practice with you. Here's a great exercise you can try. Choose a random topic, like planning a weekend trip or discussing your favorite food. Start a conversation in English and set a rule: no switching back to your native language. For example, if your friend asks, "What's your plan for Sunday?" you could reply, "I'm thinking about going to the mall and watching a movie. What about you?" These small conversations will boost your confidence and help you think in English on the spot. Now, let's talk about unexpected opportunities. Sometimes life gives you chances to practice, and you need to grab them. For instance, imagine you get a wrong number call. Instead of saying, "Galat number," try saying, "Sorry, I think you've called the wrong number." Or let's say a telemarketer calls to sell you something. Instead of cutting the call, use it as an opportunity to practice. Ask them questions in English like, "Can you tell me more about your product?" Even if you don't buy anything, you've gained valuable speaking practice. Another example, you're at a store and you need help finding something. Instead of pointing or using gestures, say, "Excuse me, where can I find the sugar?" These real-life situations are golden opportunities to practice speaking in English. The power of reading aloud. Reading aloud is another powerful step that will transform your English. Here's why. When you read aloud, you're not just practicing pronunciation. You're training your mouth to form English words and sentences smoothly. It's like working out your vocal muscles. Start with something simple, like a children's book or a short article. Hold the text in your hand and read it out loud. Don't rush. Focus on clarity and rhythm. For example, if the sentence says, "The cat is sitting on the mat," pause slightly after each word to get the flow right. As you get more comfortable, challenge yourself with more complex texts, like news articles or stories. For instance, read a paragraph from your favorite book and imagine you're narrating it to an audience. This will make the exercise more engaging and fun. One trick to make this even more effective is to record yourself while reading aloud. This way, you can listen back and check if your pronunciation and intonation sound natural. If you notice any mistakes, practice that specific word or sentence until it feels right. Another fun idea. Read dialogues from a movie script or a play. Pretend you're an actor preparing for a role. This will not only improve your speaking skills but also make you more expressive in English. Recording yourself, talking to a friend, and reading aloud are like the 3 pillars of your English learning journey. Each step builds your confidence, improves your fluency, and makes you more comfortable with the language. Imagine this. You record yourself every day for a month. By the end of the month, you'll notice how much your pronunciation and fluency have improved. You'll feel proud listening to your progress. Or think about having regular conversations with a friend. Over time, you'll stop translating sentences in your head and start speaking naturally. The fear of making mistakes will fade away. And with reading aloud, your vocabulary will grow, and your sentences will start sounding more polished and professional. By combining these steps, you're setting yourself up for success. Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress every single day. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and most importantly, enjoy the process. The power of observation and practice observation is one of the most underrated yet powerful tools for learning English. Think about it. When you were a child, how did you learn your native language? You observed everything around you. You watched how people spoke, how they moved their lips, and how they expressed emotions. Without even realizing it, you were picking up vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation just by observing. Now, as an adult, you have even more resources and knowledge at your fingertips. Use this to your advantage. For example, when you watch an English movie or TV show, don't just focus on the story. Observe how the characters speak. Pay attention to their tone, the words they use in different situations, and how they emphasize certain phrases. Notice how they greet people, apologize, or express excitement. Here's a practical way to practice this. Choose a short scene from a movie or show you enjoy. Watch it several times. The first time, focus on the overall meaning. The second time, Listen closely to the words and phrases. The third time, try mimicking their speech. Repeat their sentences exactly as they say them, copying their tone and rhythm. For example, if a character says, "Could you pass me the salt, please?" Pause the video and say it out loud. Imagine you're sitting at the same table asking for salt. This practice not only improves your pronunciation, but also helps you sound more natural and confident. Another great way to observe is by paying attention to people around you who speak English fluently. If you're in a meeting or a casual conversation, notice how they start sentences, connect ideas, or express opinions. Don't be afraid to borrow phrases or expressions you like. Observation isn't copying, it's learning. Here's a game-changing habit. Every night, before you go to sleep, take 10 minutes to reflect on your day and explain it in English. This simple practice works like magic because it activates your brain to think in English, even while you're sleeping. Here's how you can do it. Lie down in bed, close your eyes, and imagine you're telling a friend about your day. Start from the moment you woke up. For example, this morning I woke up at 7 a.m. I felt a bit tired, but I got out of bed and made a cup of tea. Then I read the newspaper for a few minutes before taking a shower. After that, I went to work. I had a meeting with my manager and we discussed a new project. At lunch, I ate pasta with my colleagues. It was delicious. In the evening, I went for a walk in the park, and now here I am, ready to sleep. Don't worry about making mistakes or using complex sentences. The goal is to get your brain used to thinking in English. Over time, this will become a natural habit, and you'll find it easier to form sentences on the spot. Why does this work? Your brain processes information even while you sleep. By reflecting on your day in English, you're training your mind to organize thoughts and experiences in the language. This subconscious practice accelerates your learning and boosts your confidence. Put your ego aside and enjoy the process. Learning a new language requires humility. Sometimes, we're so worried about sounding silly or making mistakes that we hold ourselves back. But here's the truth. Nobody speaks perfectly when they're learning. The key is to put your ego aside and enjoy the process. For example, if you mispronounce a word or forget a phrase, don't feel embarrassed. Laugh it off and try again. Think of every mistake as a stepping stone toward improvement. Remember, even the most fluent speakers were once beginners. A great way to enjoy the process is to treat it like a game. For example, challenge yourself to use 5 new words in a conversation tomorrow. Or try describing everything you see around you in English while walking down the street. Make it fun and exciting, and you'll stay motivated to keep learning. Write your thoughts. A personal journal in English writing is another incredibly effective way to improve your English, and it's something you can do every single day. Start by keeping a personal journal where you write about your thoughts, feelings, and experiences in English. For example, at the end of the day, write about how you felt, what you accomplished, and what you're looking forward to tomorrow. Don't worry about grammar or spelling at first. Just focus on expressing yourself. Here's an example entry. Today was a good day. I woke up early and went for a run. The weather was beautiful, sunny and cool. At work, I finished an important project, and my manager appreciated my effort. In the evening, I cooked dinner with my family. We made spaghetti and garlic bread. It was delicious. Now I'm feeling tired but happy. Over time, as you get more comfortable, you can start experimenting with new words and more complex sentences. For example, instead of saying, "It was a good day," you could write,